When I started interviewing, right, since you're from Salesforce, right, I'll tell you how I started learning this containerization. We used to have our patching and updates when we do, right? It's all done through automated way. So we have our own orchestration tool, how it's done. So ultimately, it's deploying of code, right? So when I got a interview call from Salesforce. Point I was actually doing good coding. The first question he asked me is, what kind of orchestration tool you guys use? I start telling about my orchestration tool, like what we use, and then he said, I think sorry, you don't know much about containerization. Unfortunately, this role requires more that guy who knows more containerization. The interview went for only 5 minutes.
Oh
And
my God. Okay.
I mean, that was obviously, I feel like, okay, so that's how we need to learn, right? I don't know that tool. And then I took that feedback. I know it was hard, but actually I felt, okay, so this is what they're looking for. So from there onwards, like I know, okay, I need to start learning about containerization. That's when I started learning Docker. I finished Docker course, everything. And I used to have this, I still have it. It's called Cloud Guru. I don't know if you know about that site. So it has hands-on labs also, so you can learn everything. So I started doing that, and then when next time when I went to different interviews, there are like a lot of things happened. Like a lot of interviews when I went, there's something that I don't know there, and then I used to come back, put my head down, and then
that's an interesting approach as well. Like because you were attending many interviews actually,
yeah,
and
I told you, right? I was mainly attending interviews to get to know what I have to learn. And also it actually helps you, what is the word for it, basically
just
interview.
face the fear actually.
Yeah the interview things. Like at that point, at one point actually I was not feeling anything. Like whenever I get a call, I'll just go and talk whatever I know.
But you were shooting for DevOps jobs or any job actually? Like
I was actually more looking into more DevOps and SRE side. For me, right, I felt like when I was in, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but in big companies, right, you will be stuck in one, what do you say, one belt. You just need to own only one belt. You can't go and like do everything, right? That's when actually I stopped giving interviews for the big companies. I thought, let me go to like startup or mid size, so where I can learn more. I can see a difference because it's been 2 weeks since I joined my a few weeks, not 2 weeks, since I joined the job. But it was actually good because I got to learn a lot of stuff which I never did. I mean, which I learned about it, which I know how it works, but I never had hands on. So it's good actually. I feel like that's the way you should go. Don't have fear and then go just learn. That's it. Because I'll tell you some examples as well. The coding rounds, there are a lot of companies where first round was never actually good. I know what went wrong. I'll try to be critical about what I did myself, because a lot of times you won't get feedback from the interview, right? So I felt like wherever I didn't do good, I'll just go and research on that and I'll take notes on it, and then I'll try to improve next time. At one point, I was able to crack all the coding rounds, but I was not able to crack the system design round, because when I started learning the system design round, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff we don't even know. And then I started looking about that in the YouTube videos.
Traditionally, I would just answer questions only about Oracle or a database performance or backups or whatnot, right? Only it's all within this little bubble actually. Now looking at you talking about like coding, system design, and we're talking about like DevOps, which is like a lot of tools, containerization and Kubernetes and Terraform and pipeline tools like and Puppet, Ansible. So there's like so much one needs to know, but that's the reality. You have to learn all these things to survive.
Yeah, I'll tell you an example actually. In startup companies, right, how it works is basically you just have to design a project or like design something. And you need to figure out how it needs to be done first. For that, what do you have to do? For example, you have to build infrastructure, right? Infrastructure. You need to use Terraform for that. And if you have to, after building the infrastructure, if you have to do some stuff after, like for example, if you have to install some dependencies after the VMs are provisioned, right, or instances are provisioned, you need to make sure that
Puppet
you use some Ansible. So that's how I started learning. I needed to learn how load balancers work. All this stuff I knew since I started my career. But again, right, at that point, we go and ask this team, okay, FI team or load balancer team. You remember, right? In Wells Fargo,
Give me
those
the
guys used to help
source
us.
IP, give me the
Yeah,
target IP, give me the port. That's all we have to
those
do
guys used
actually.
to. Yeah, all these like we don't know what they're doing actually. They're like we know what they do. I mean, we know how it
High
does.
level, yeah.
Yeah, high level, but we don't know exactly how it's happening, everything. So all the stuff you will get to know once. Just like I think the more DevOps infrastructure actually, you will get to know a lot of stuff. SRE also, I think you'll get to know. I don't know exactly how it works in every company, but yeah.
And you also like were familiar with OCI, right? So that helped
Yeah,
you actually.
that actually really helped me
Yeah.
because that's any cloud is. So that's at one point, people whenever I go for interviews, right, they were asking AWS or GCP or like I said, see, OC is also another cloud computing provider. I don't think anything is different other than GCP or AWS or Azure. Maybe they might have more services, but I think the core services, everything that you use will be the same. I know the whole how concept of how cloud works, everything. I still
That's
remember
cool.
2 years back I learned AWS course also. I finished the whole associate architect course. Of course, I never get certification, but I finished Kubernetes certification course. I finished Docker. I finished AWS, but I was doing Terraform course. That's when I got the offer. So now I'm not learning that anymore. I'm learning that on the job.
Yeah, that's the best part because even when you do certifications, it's hard to remember everything that goes into
Yeah,
it actually, right?
yeah. Even I gave Oracle certification way back in 2018. I got certified also, but come 2020, I don't remember what it does.
Did
It
you
was
do any
actually
certifications at all actually, or just the certification courses?
only Oracle certification I did. I'll tell you why I didn't do certifications. I was feeling like, okay, even though I do certifications, if I don't work on it, it's no use. Maybe it's useful for interviews, I guess. I should have done it. Maybe I was lazy or but I was like one by one I was finishing the courses. I just wanted to make sure that I do it because like the moment I finished the course and then I started learning on other. For example, I finished Docker and then I went to Kubernetes. There are a lot of times I used to go back to Docker again and refer some document because I must have forgot it, right? So those things, right, you will get more experience only when you start working on it. So I felt. And I thought maybe it's not useful. Maybe it's useful just for a title purpose, like okay, this guy is certified. But I was wondering like how many certified guys really know what they're like it's about, right?
People do like dozens of certifications.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who does a lot of certifications and they don't know anything about it. If you ask any question, right, they won't be able to. I mean, I'm not
No.
saying it's bad. I'm just saying that I at that point I felt like it was not necessary. Maybe at one point in career, maybe if I'm working now, if I give certification now, then it makes a lot of sense. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the. I started with Solution Architect Associate certification, AWS Solution Architect Associate. I did
Yeah, I
that.
remember you told me that.
Yeah,
I remember
and
you put a video also, right?
yeah, it's one of my. In fact, it's my only popular video, I would say. But uh, but like yeah, I stopped myself from doing any more certifications. I actually took like a AWS DevOps certifications course, and I learned all these things in the context of AWS actually, like they
Yeah, I
have
did
like
it
the.
from LinkedIn as well. Yeah.
So I did that, uh, but slowly actually like now I'm learning Kubernetes, but I'm going very deep actually. I pick a concept, I try to
I saw the
actually.
videos actually. You're going very deep there.
Yeah, I like at least do one practical thing in that concept, like make sure I do it and I share it with you guys. If you guys are my in my subscribers, then you would know actually.
Yeah, I'm seeing that videos every week. One thing I felt like, right, since I'm because in my new job I might be start working on it, so it'll be very useful for me
Yeah,
because so once you start using it, whatever you see in the videos, right, it will make a lot of sense. If you're not working on it, a lot of videos when you see it, right, you might be good on that day or a week after that. Again, after 1 week, you'll forget, right? But
yeah,
it always used to help. Like, I mean, YouTube is a big thing. You can learn a lot of stuff actually.
yeah. So there is this concept called just-in-time learning, which is like basically you learn what you need to learn. That's how you learn, because
And
that's
that's how
how.
I learned the last 2 weeks. Actually, when I started working in this new job, right, I learned a lot of stuff actually. Honestly speaking, I can see a lot of difference like within 2 weeks.
Learning curve is like this.
Yeah.
That's what happens in a new job actually. So I'm happy for you. How did you actually like get so many interviews?
Yeah, I mean, actually, if I say it, you won't believe it. Out of those hundreds of interviews, right? I wouldn't say hundreds, but after those many interviews, right? Maybe a three or four, maybe three. I think 3 or 4 I would have applied actually. Most of the jobs which I interviews which I went for, right? They're all like through LinkedIn. So the only thing I did, right? I took a LinkedIn premium subscription, and then I kept it open to work, and then the recruiters started like messaging me. Actually, I never had to apply anything. Maybe it's because of Oracle on the resume, or I don't know the profile. But a lot of times, like I used to get almost 3 or 4 recruiter messages in my LinkedIn messages. So it was very. At one point, I used to just pick up. Okay, this is what I want to go for, and then I'll go and attend the interview. That's how I used to like.
One
I never
per
actually
week.
applied for it. Yeah. I never had to apply because I was not in a hurry to apply for a job. Maybe if I was in a hurry, right? Maybe I would have actually did both. I would have started applying for Indeed or other websites. But here I never did actually.
Yeah. So the premium option, the premium membership helped actually.
Yeah. Once I got the job, I think I kept it for 1 year, and then after now I canceled it.
Cool. So one last question actually, or maybe a couple of questions. One is actually like you mentioned about the coding aspect of interviews. Did you like do lead code and things like that, or like is it all just practical application of what you are learning actually, which is Python, right? So did you do any lead code or data structures, algorithms? Did you go like deep in those areas?
I did a few of the lead code, and there's one more website I forgot. I did some coding there, but I won't say that helped because a lot of questions in there I won't be able to crack it because I used to put on some timers and then try to do it, and then it never used to work out for me. Maybe I was not from a developer. Of course, a lot of easy and medium questions I was able to do it, but a lot of medium questions I was not able to finish it, and hard questions like it was like I mean for me it was like very tough at this. I felt okay, but in the interviews when I was like a lot of interviews at least recently which I attended, they were more of practical because like for example there are like interviews where for SREs, right? All they ask is like go to this access logs and like try to pass the log and get those things that are practical. So it's very easy. I don't have to learn anyway. I mean, if you know coding, right, how to do coding, then it's very easy for you. Maybe the problem could be different. It's like just how you approach everything that will make sense for them. And there are few companies actually they took it straight out of lead code and everything. For those, I tried my best, and then in one company actually they asked me to build a binary tree. Luckily, when I started learning, right, I learned how the linked list is implemented, binary trees, graphs, everything's implemented. I learned the basic stuff. I can put the basic code, but if you're given a problem and then ask like use those data structures to solve it, right, that probably I might not able to do it. But luckily in that interview, he just asked me to implement binary tree. That's it. That was very easy for me because I knew how it works. Because I learned about it. I learned it. I was practicing also, so that I was able to do it. But I heard like if you go to Google interviews or other interviews, right, they'll give a problem and you need to make sure that you use one of those data, right?
So do you want to talk about your preparation? Is it all like part of the job, or like did you do like any like 2 hours per day, that kind of thing?
Yeah, a lot of things actually. It's a combination of both for coding part and for any Linux troubleshooting part. Like for example, coding part, I used to work on like some products in my previous role. And for example, any DevOps or SI roles, you might need to have a good understanding of how Linux works. So whenever I used to have some issues, right, even though sometimes I can't fix it, if some other team comes and they work on it, right, I used to be actively involved in those issues to understand how it's being solved and everything. Because like again, right, in Oracle, every team we have a team for everything, right? So those things I think I learned there, and then And like, for
Offline.
example, yeah, offline, I used to learn more of like every day. I used to, at one point, I used to do every day in the morning, learn something, watch some video, and before I go to sleep, watch like 30 minutes or 40 minutes, some video, gain some knowledge, like something that you don't know. Try to like if I study too much, like 2 or 3 hours, right? I it will take what do you say? I don't think that's a good way to learn anything. Probably try to put 30 minutes to 40 minutes, read, or I like to watch videos because that's easy. Obviously, I like watching a lot of movies, so I felt like when I watch something on the channel on the TV, I felt like I can understand easily because if I read it, I'll go to sleep immediately. So then, like 30 or 40 minutes every day, that's how I used to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I used to like for continuously for 2.5 years, I was trying to understand do sometimes I used to watch same videos again and again. Like for example, the system design videos I used to tell you, right? I used to watch that Gautam videos a lot of times.
Yeah.
I think now he set up his own company also.
Company.
Looks like.
There's a he has a startup now. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool actually. So um I think like what I understand, this is my perception actually, is that people, and when I say people, I'm talking about us like system admins and database admins. They are kind of like worried that our jobs are transforming actually. Now we are needing a lot more skills, right?
yeah,
And we don't, I used to panic about that. I don't anymore, because luckily actually I'm in a cloud team. I'm in a infrastructure as
yeah.
a cloud team. I get to learn a lot about Kubernetes and AWS and Terraform and all that. um, but the thing is actually like even in the areas that you mentioned, which is like coding and system design and all that, you don't have to know anything right off the bat actually. Like you can
Right.
take this learning approach like through attending interviews, right?
Yeah,
And then you go back and then you learn one more thing, and then you do your best actually. You don't have to be like a pro or an expert or anything. So
yeah, exactly.
you go back, you learn, and then you keep trying, and then one of them will click actually. That's what happened to you, right? Pretty much.
Exactly, yeah. That's pretty much happened. Actually, that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Because at one point I used to feel like I never used to like I'm not making anything, but I felt like attending more interviews will help me out. That's when I actually started attending more. At one point, I used to do at least 1 or 2 interviews a week. There are few times when I learned after learning Docker and Kubernetes, right? I still couldn't answer some of the questions. That will happen only if you start working on them, right?
Every day we are facing new things, right? You have to do something new. And then every now and then you like, at least I would panic actually sometimes, like as in panic or like get anxious, like this is something that I don't know. How am I going to actually complete
Same
this,
thing.
right? So that overwhelming feeling or anxious feeling will come actually. But then I came to know about this growth mindset thing. There is a book called Mindset actually, which is a very good book. I don't know how many people are aware.
No,
And
I'm not.
so it's actually a very good book. The concepts are very simple in that book, which the author's name is Carol Dweck.
Okay.
And the concepts are very simple, but to apply those concepts in real time, and whatever you did, right, it is actually pretty much, if you take those examples or take you as an example, and then just see like how you were in growth mindset in the last 1 year, like basically whatever you were saying, like which is basically embracing failures,
Yeah.
and then like using those opportunities to learn, getting feedback, working working hard
Getting
as
that
much
critical, yeah, getting that critical feedback was very important for me actually.
from
Because
yourself.
other,
It was your
yeah,
own self reflection. We
yeah,
don't get any feedback like from interviews, like maybe like one line actually, as in like
yeah, right.
that too we have to ask for it actually. But then
And that actually reminds me something. There are few interviews which I did very well actually, in the coding round, but still I didn't make it through, and I didn't get any feedback as well because there are few things which I was able to what do you say complete the coding exercise like within the time frame, but it still I couldn't make it. Just like see, there are things like it could be unlucky depending on what they're looking for, right?
from that mindset, right, like when you're facing something new and then you don't know that that area, that topic, then you're in that panic mode or anxious mode, then you say like, okay, then you start getting curious actually, like as in, okay, maybe what is that actually? Maybe I can learn about that little piece, and then we take one step and next step, and then that's how you actually do it, right? There's no other way actually. The thing is, comforting thing is nobody knows.
That's true.
No one knows actually. So it's just like, then even when you ask your colleagues, like, does anybody know how to do this? Like, they will not know actually. So that is comforting. So that's that.
They won't say that. You won't get the answer immediately. Even they will go and research or something and then think before they answer also, right? So it's not like the only thing that we can figure out is basically try to remember the mistakes that we are doing. And of course, no one, like, after a certain point of time, you will repeat the mistakes, but try to make not those mistakes again. And you know me, right? I'll try to get pens very soon. I mean, I'm like that hurry bari guy, which
hyper.
So I try to, if I see something, I'll also get panicked. I'll think, okay, I need to start looking about it, and then I'll start to learn some immediately, like, on that stuff. Yeah, it all depends on how you take the new things.
We're learning, we're growing actually. That's what is important. Anyway,
I shouldn't give up. Yep.
Thanks for your time, and
thanks for inviting me.
and I want to honor your time, and let's end the interview. All the best for your new job actually. Yeah, thank you.